Beloved, good morning. Today is another fresh week, another beautiful week, and we're live right here on Peny Radio and PenyGh. It is Random Thought with Maxine. Today happens to be the 14th day of the month of September. I want to believe you're all doing well. I want to believe you're doing great. It is a new week. It is a fresh week, and this is how we started. All right, so this morning I have Maxine here with me in the studio, and you know how we do it. I don't know how your energy level is, but Maxine is here. Maxine, how are you doing today?
Good morning.
Fire
seized.
Oh God.
Fire seized. Good morning to all my lovely listeners. You can hear from my voice. I actually took in a little bit of a fizzy drink, so it has kind of like increased the sugar level and my energy level too. This is how come I can extend my good morning. But it's always a pleasure connecting with you. I am here in the studio. We had this inside joke right now. Maybe latter part of the show I'll share with you, but trust we are all doing well, and thanks so much for connecting with us. I don't come.
All right, so this is how we do it. We want to believe you're doing great.
Yeah.
And it is another wonderful week. It is a fresh week. And we have Alexia in the studio as well. All right, so Maxine, today is a new day.
Yeah,
so,
it is. Slowly, September 2 is coming to a close. And I trust we are all doing fine. Charlie, a step at a time. That's how we do it. A step at a time. Trusting that we'll give off our very best, and the results thereof will be pleasant. So please, as I always say, hang in there a little more. Okay, just hang in there, and let's do this.
So let's do this.
Yeah. And check my shirt out. They say it's nice. You should see my hair. They swollen, Papa.
Okay. So wherever you are, wherever you're connecting from, wherever you're watching us from, this is Peny Radio. We're live on YouTube, PenyGh. And we're doing this program with you because somewhere within Peny, we have you in mind. So, Maxine, talking of today, what are we looking at?
Okay, so our topic for discussion is checkout time. Time. And I'll quickly go into it so that we can have a feel of what it is to check out. Okay, so I always enjoy sitting in my mother's shop. For all those of you who have been ardent listeners of the show, you know that my mom owns a small provision shop in front of our house. We sell virtually everything except human parts. And we try to stack it with all the things that you might need, all the essential commodities. Everything consumable, you have it in my mother's shop, and those that are not even consumable that you will need to make your life a bit easier. So that's it. And as part of being a good daughter, that is one of the rules I've taken upon myself, to sit in the shop for my mom and also make her get a little coin so that we can all spend together. Hope it's okay. So you know how it is like when you still spend your mother's money. A little bit of 50 Ghana for that hair, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. So I honestly will tell her that, see, if I'm to put my CV down for this job, you can't pay me. It's just like, oh, it's now what? Now, okay, but I totally enjoy the whole experience. For these reasons, I'll share with you. One, you kind of like meet all types of people. Children, adults, young teenagers, and all that. Everybody comes to buy from the shop. And secondly, too, for me, I am fascinated when the children come to buy for this simple reason. Sometimes the way they pronounce the things they want to buy is so funny. So there's a boy who comes around to get chewing gum, And then he says tingam. And you know, anytime he says that thing, I'm like, you just grow up and will learn that it's not tingam, you know. So those are some of the things I enjoy. Like, in as much as they are saying it with all the confidence, and I know it's not right, I kind of have a field day when they say that. Also, I try to correct them and say, okay, don't say tingam, say chewing gum. And then they will just repeat after you. But there's also one thing that they do that kind of like gets me all baffled, if that's the word to use. They can't tell the value of the money they bring to the shop. So there are times the person has like 10 pesos and he or she is pointing to something that is 50 pesos. And in my head I'm thinking, doesn't he or she knows that 10 pesos cannot buy 50 pesos stuff? And there are times too, there's a vice versa of this whole situation. They have like 1 CD and they are buying things that are less. Okay, for example, they are buying something like 20 pesos. And just when you give them the thing, they just leave. They don't know they have to take change. So I'm like, okay, we all struggled with knowing the value of money. My nephew only knows 2 Ghana cedis. Everything is 2 Ghana cedis. So I can just imagine how they can devalue the value of money. And that is what kind of like gave me an insight to do today's topic. They have 1 CD and they do not know it's 1 CD. Sometimes they have 1 CD and they want to buy things that are less and not even take change. And there are times they have less and they want to buy things that are more expensive than they can buy. And I was like, okay, I think that's the same thing with us human beings. Sometimes we forget our values. We forget who we are. We forget that this is my value. And so because we don't remember and because we forget, people treat us anyhow. And this morning, I just want us to have a conversation, an honest one, around how people disrespect us just because we do not even value ourselves. And sometimes unconsciously we do not even know that people are disrespecting us. Just like those children will come with all the excitement to get that thing on the shelf that their money cannot buy, and they are broken when you say we see can to me in 2 ways. They can't just understand why their money cannot buy what they are pointing at. But this morning I just want us to have this conversation. I don't know how it was like for you when you were growing up as a young person, but for me, I would have preferred you telling me that umuade is tree local parlance, and it means you don't respect. And every growing child is not enthused when somebody tells you umuade. It is like they have killed you. It is like you've done damage to even your parents' upbringing of you, because then in effect you are getting the vibe that you were not brought up well. That's how come you are disrespectful. And we all didn't like it when we were tagged as being disrespectful. Have you ever received your report card, terminal report, and just underneath your results or your grades there's a teacher's remarks? When the teacher writes very disrespectful, I'm sure some of you have gotten such comments, and you take it home. I am sure the whole vacation period will be a living hell for you, because your parents will constantly remind you of what that teacher wrote as their remarks. And that is one thing we all dreaded, that nobody should even comment or say that you do not respect. You see, sometimes we do not even identify the fact that people are disrespecting us. And that is what makes it very hard, when you don't know the value of what you have. So disrespect has become like normal flow. We are just going with the flow. But you know, sometimes it will hit you at a point when you go like, so did he talk to me this way? Then it's just like a wake-up call. Did he just hang the phone on me? It's just like a wake-up call. Did he just call me that? It's just like a wake up. And I am sure we've all gotten to that moment where we just realize that no way, people have just overstepped boundaries and we'll have to bring them back. But for some of us too, we don't even know it. We have not even identified what it is to be disrespected. So anything goes for us. See, in our daily dealings with people, there's a whole range of disruptive attitudes and activities towards our own lives. People have a way of getting us off balance. People have a way of giving us some disrespectful behavior and words that if you are not too sure, you'll be broken all the days of your life. I am amused when people say we are all created after the image and likeness of God. And we say that only when we want to acknowledge the fact that we are just like God and we have power and we have dominion and we have authority to call things to be. But we forget when we disrespect people that it is the same made after the image and likeness of God. Sometimes we are not too sure whether we are disrespecting people. And so when we say, oh, as for this life, we should know that we are all created after the image and likeness. And you know that even if you do not even remember that, there is somebody you have also disrespected. And you forget that particular quotation. Or there's somebody who also has disrespected you. And you have not even identified that it is disrespect. Check out time. Check out time is when you go to the hotel, you have exhausted your days, and you say, okay, you have 2 hours to pack, so 6 to 11. There is nothing you can do. If only you want to extend your stay, you have to pay for the extra cost. But once it's time to check out, it's time to check out. This morning, I honestly think that just like the children would have to get a whole tutorial on me telling them 1 CD cannot buy this, I think it's time for us to look at the value that we place on our lives. Once you identify what value you have as a human being, you will be able to early detect when somebody is disrespecting you. What kind of disrespect have we faced over the period? 1, somebody sets a meeting time with you. You've all agreed, let's meet 9 o'clock in the morning for this meeting. They come late and they do not apologize. They cannot call you to tell you that, oh, something came up, I'm running late. They can't even send a text. And it's in the everyday dealings. And so, oh, that's how he is. As for him, when he says he will come 9, forget it, he will come 12. And the person who is late and has arrived is laughing and smiling. When you have been waiting for the past 2 or 3 hours just for the arrival. That's one. There are people who make agreement with you. Can we do this by the end of this week? We've all agreed we're supposed to submit a report. Just when by the end of the week approaches, the person is giving you excuses. Flimsy ones. They are not even able to tell you that, oh, per the agreement we had, I'm supposed to tender in this document by the end of this week. Charlie, I had some few issues, and so I'm not sure I can do it this Friday. Can we extend it? You go for weddings, you sit down for long hours. People say things like, oh, it is their day, it is your day, they will wait for you. And people will take that one, hook, line, sinker, and brides will be late. Just because it is your big day, all things must wait. You have to command the sun to stand still just for your sake. And you don't know what people had to even put on hold just to be at your wedding. And you are there doing all the selfies and things and thinking that if they can't wait, they should go home. They can go home. It's not by force. So there was this time I went out for a program. The start of the program was that late, and I told my sister, let's give ourselves the next 30 minutes. If this program does not start, we are off. like joke. You know how it is like in this setup of ours. Oh, then you get somebody coming to apologize constantly. Sorry for the late starting program will begin very soon. And we're hearing sorry for the late starting program close to like 4 or 3 times. And I'm like, this is not good enough. This is how people waste our time. This is how people take us for a ride. This is how people think, oh, whatever it is, it has become the norm. We have normalized things. Somebody talks to you in a tone. They send you. Last time I had to stop somebody. Sent me some pictures on WhatsApp. I think you wanted to create laughter out of it. And I said, I don't do explicit content. Don't send me that thing again. And they are laughing because they enjoyed it. So they think you also must enjoy it. And I think that was it. But if you don't say it, oh, wait, don't send it. You are on a group chat with people, school groups, and there are people who are just noted for sending things. And nobody puts them to order. When you remove them, somebody will beg, and admin will add the person again. The person will come back, reinforce, come to do what he did better than how he did it in the past. And we are tolerating it. People do not even mind the senses of people on the platform. They just want to post things and disrespect people just because they have images, just because these are the things they enjoy and everybody must enjoy it. I think it's checkout time for some people. Checkout time for people who take us for granted. Checkout time for people who talk to us in a certain tone, certain ways that are not too cool. Fortunately or unfortunately for us the women, when we're in a relationship, it's all about the love, and we get people who call themselves boyfriends to disrespect us. So there's a matter we are discussing. There has not been a conclusion to the matter, and the next time you want to address that same matter, the person say, are we still talking about this thing? Me, I thought that once we spoke about it, that is it. But you see, when people start taking you for granted, they do not even acknowledge that this is your input. This is how you want things to go. This is how you wish things can be. And you just allow them, give them the leeway to operate. They tend to stumble on you. I don't know if you've ever owned a doormat. I don't know if it's popular now. But back in the days, there was a kube doormat. You know, they beat the kube is coconut, and then they put it together. After some time, you know that doormat has collected a lot of dust. And if you decide to shake that thing one Saturday morning when you are having your normal general cleaning, you'll be shocked the amount of dirt, sand, particles that comes out of your doormat. And that is what people have reduced us into. They just want to put anything and everything under the soles of their feet on us, and we have become just like doormats. They've made us more or less like less than we should be. You are greater than. You are not less than. And so if you get the vibe that somebody is looking down on you, somebody is making you doubt your abilities, capabilities, the person is laughing at something that you think, this is so dear to me. The person is just taking you for a ride because you're saying that over the period you have not spoken and everything is well with you. It's time to speak up. See, people cannot be rational. People won't be rational. But you have what it takes to determine how somebody treats you, and it's how you see yourself. If you place value on yourself, just like the children will come to a realization that 2 CDs can buy a lot, then you know that it's time to set the record straight. Can we stop normalizing things? Oh, that's how they are. It's normal. That's how he talks. Can we just stop doing that? Because at the end of the day, when somebody disrespects you, it is rather you who is bruised. They have gone their way. They have said what they want to say. It is you who lives with the pain and with all the regret. I will say this. We don't have control over who treats us right. We don't have control over whether somebody respects us or not, but we have control over how people make us feel. We have that control. Just like you know the value of that money in your hand and you know what you can buy with that money, it's time to know the value of who you are as an individual and what you will not take and what you will not tolerate. Do you remember how this whole idea, some 2007 thereby, when there was redenomination of the city? I just like the tagline, there is no change in the value. The value is the same. People were worried, will it change, will it not change? Know that your value is the same. Whether people decide not to treat you, there is a value on you. Your value must not change. You must not live less of your value. There are people I have blocked. If it means block that person, if the person, don't send me those pictures again, the person, if it means block them, just block them. Because it's like they are taking you for a ride. Still obey. And sometimes it's because you can't even control how they react and how they treat you. You have what it takes to know what you want to take in. What are you taking in? Do you feel disrespected? Oh, disrespect from every angle. Your siblings, your church people, your bosses, your subordinate, the security man, everybody disrespects us at a point. We also disrespect people at a point. But for me, I just thought through it. I'm like, there are times people disrespect us and we don't even identify that it's disrespect. Lateness is okay. Not meeting deadlines and not communicating your struggles is okay. Not apologizing when you are late is okay. And so I had a friend come over the house this weekend, and she was just telling me about one experience she had with her husband who held her by the neck and slapped her or so. And my question to her was that, did he apologize? He said, up till now, never. It's okay to beat your wife and not say you are sorry. It's okay to do something to that neighbor and think that, oh, okay, he or she deserves it. But you know, this whole cliche and this whole phrase, respect is earned. There are some of us, we have tried to earn respect. But guess what? It doesn't come on a silver platter. We have tried to build some sort of respect for ourselves, but people disrespect us anyway. We have tried to say that, okay, because this and this is what happens when I don't carry myself in a certain way, this is how I want to carry myself, and people will still disrespect you. But what are you taking in? And I will always say this, it's better for the person to know that, Charlie, you have overstepped these boundaries, than to keep it for the person to kind of like build on what they have already built. It's just like building a story building. Once the person lays the blocks and the thing is going up, why you don't tell the person that, master, pause, you can't build this building around me, the person still continues. No amount of stop work can silence that person. But for some of us, it's time to start telling people, stop work in my when you are around me. Stop that work of disrespecting parents, children, relatives, office colleagues. The list is endless. We take all form of disrespect. Oh, some of us have taken disrespect from our bosses. What are you talking about? They are treating us less than our value and treating other people better. We know it. You know that office setting, that lady is not supposed to be doing your work, but the person, for no obvious reason, you don't even know what reason, tangible reason, the person decides to do your work, and you're saying, it is no, there's a job description for you. You were hired based on your job. So if the person is outstepping their boundaries, it's not like this one, you are only a pre-baby. Just tell madam, if you want to do my job, apply. And sometimes we don't know it, but it's a way that people take our shine. They will take your shine. Oh yeah, they're no kasa. The person does the thing. Oh, did you send that email? Oh, but you know you are not supposed to send that email. One, you've left the thing like that. Next time, don't send email if I don't ask you to send email. And there are times we get into a whole mess just because we could have just stopped that person. And now you have to do damage control for something that you could have just nipped in the bud just at the early stages. Please find yourself. Find what it means to be a child of God. Find what it means to be created after the image and likeness of God. There is value. Not all those. Maybe I'm talking now and you're just thinking, oh, that guy, the way he spoke to me, I didn't like it. People are devaluing us and rather adding value to themselves because they know that when they step on that toes, there's no way you will talk. There's no way. Oh, she won't complain. Oh, when I'm late. Oh, this. I'll just give him reasons. And you know you are hurting inside. Maybe you have a lot of things on your plate. Maybe if that meeting was timely, you could have done other things. The person just go scot-free just because they know that you have taken enough of their lateness, and it is has become a standing order. Whether you like it or not, I'll be late. They know me for my lateness. We are agents of change. It is not just mouth talk. It is action. If you want to see something change, you have to act it. Act the part that you want people to address you. I used to be extremely bubbly and open with most of the young people in my church. Then I realized that no way. They were taking me for a ride. So now I have changed the strategy. I think it's time to change your strategy. It's time to change the strategy because there are times that you think through what people have done to you and you know that you do not merit this. What did I do wrong? Is it my fault that I was all open? Is it my fault that I am polite? But see, disrespect must not beget disrespect. Disrespect must not beget disrespect. I used to be a person who says that do me I do you, man no go verse. It used to be a song, do me I do you, man no go verse. Man no go verse. So if you disrespect me, I'm gonna disrespect ya. But you see, you are the better person when you act in a polite manner. You are the better person when you talk to that person that no way, you can't do this. You are the better person because see, people are toxic. People will disrespect you for they are just mean people around. They want to say things to you. And sometimes you look at it and say, me pan can't say and for me it's not like they are not more than you. It's just maybe by the mere fact that probably they had just gone to school a bit more, or there's something. There's just, and sometimes you're even on the same level, especially even with colleagues. Maybe if it's the office setting, you're same position, same, or sometimes you're even better. I'll tell you this. Somebody told me about an experience in their school that there's this particular lady who sends all the teachers to go and buy her food. Yeah, a teacher, another teacher. It's not like teacher-student relationship. You know, you are all colleague teachers. One teacher can summon another teacher. Call to duty. Go and buy kukunte and lapua. And so I was like, now so small, so obey me as so mommy. Then I got the vibe. Like the way the person said it, I got the vibe. And it's like she's sending you and she's not even adding decorum and respect. Hey, why are you koto fufu, mommy? I have been sent in my office. I was buying fufu and things for my boss. But it's how the person will even say it. Oh, can you sort me out lunch? I'll be glad. And we are taking such disrespect. Same age people are talking to us anyhow. Because we have not told them that is not how you should talk to me. If you want something, can you be courteous enough? Simple etiquette. And that's what happens if people are even treating you without simple courtesy. Know that it is disrespect. Also, disrespect is not in the big things, so it's in the small things. The person will not say thank you, they will not apologize. The tone of voice with which they would even ask for a favor, they will do things as if they own you. These are all forms of disrespect. And for us, the women, when we're in a relationship, it's like it has clouded our judgment and our sense of thinking. This is common sense leaving your head. You know that the way this guy is talking to you, where are you that I have called you? No, I mean, it is not one, it is not twice. The person is not apologizing for the things they have done. They would rather want to turn the tables and make you feel like you are the bad person. Can you call that off? Can you call that bluff off? If you do, I'll leave you. That is all they have been tormenting us with. And you know you have invested time. Oh, he will leave me 5 years of a relationship and such disrespect. He will marry you and disrespect you. He will marry you and your friends will come and say, hey, why are you? Don't you have sense to put food on the table and add napkin and soap to it? Because you have contained it and they know that you are cool with it. We have absorbed a lot of things inside that has to come out. Just like that doormat, just when you decide to clean it, the things that will come out, the impurities that will come out, you say, hey, so all these things are in this doormat. People have not treated us with respect because we have allowed it. We have forgotten our value, that we are cherished. We are children after God's own heart. No human being has the right to treat you less of a human being when you know who you are. What are the forms of disrespect that you are taking in? You have taken in, you will take in. For some, it's in the future. For some, it's presently. For some, it's in the past. There are people who have broken ties of relationship just because they felt that at that point they have had just too much to take in. You are listening and you know it, that you have had too much. You have taken in more than you can chew. Can you start walking away from such relationships? Can you start lifting your head up high, not being rude? It does not mean that when you treat people nice, I've said it, they'll treat you nicely. But it also does not mean that when people are disrespectful, you disrespect them. Be the better person. Disrespect must not beget disrespect. But know it when somebody is disrespecting you. In a good and in a calm disposition, politely, can you say, boss, the way you spoke to me the other time, I don't like it. And in this part, we are afraid. He is your boss. Hey, who person are you ready? This is how he is. Or this man, that's how he talks to everybody. And we are in this country and we are so much aggrieved because we think foreigners treat us less of human beings. I won't mention names and countries from which way. And you work with some people and people will be complaining on radio. They treat us as less of human beings. They spit on us. And I'm saying that sometimes we even treat our own people the same way. You don't expect somebody to be your voice when your own country people to. I mean, it is not a certificate that people must treat you badly. But you see, sometimes we also treat people badly. Choose worthy people to be your friend. Choose worthy. The underlining word is worthy to be your friends. Because if the person values your worth and the person knows your value, they will respect you. We are surrounded with people who have no love in their system. People who are grieved. People who are resentful, people who are broken, and in effect they also want to break us. Because they are broken, they want to break us. Because they are resentful, they want us to also hold on to some resentment. Because they do not have love, they will serve us with hate. They will disrespect us because that is what makes them happy. Politeness for me is a skill that will help you survive everywhere you go. Polite and speak your mind. Politeness and speaking your mind. Can we turn tables around this time around? Tables where disrespectful colleagues, friends, husbands, wife, church people, and say that it is a new strategy we are using now. We think we deserve better. No, we don't think. We know we deserve better. And when you know you deserve better, when you know the value and you place premium on that value, when somebody says you is something that is less and disrespecting, you can identify. Activity for this day: just identify the number of times you have felt disrespected. By who? By whom? By what? How was your reaction? How did it make you feel? What do you want to do this time around? Our sense of self-worth is often fragile and is easy to damage. If you don't constantly remind yourself of your worth, the possibility that you'll be broken is very high. And that's how come we don't even identify when people disrespect us. But when we are damaged, we know we are damaged. We know it. Because you go home and say, hey, me pana kwa we me kasa when you say you know that no, the person just hit it beyond while hitting below the belt. So if you can get to that moment, I'm done, then you know that you have identified a person who disrespected you. Are you disrespectful yourself? Are you disrespectful? How do you know you are disrespectful? It's how you treat people, how you take things. When you go for meetings and people are talking, are you the one who will rudely interrupt? You don't more be and kebi. Open up yourself, people bring their suggestions, and you find, instead of you finding so this is all you can do, this and you are killing people's skills and abilities just because you want to disrespect them and kind of say bogus all the things they have done. You are responsible for how people treat you. Okay. You are not responsible for how they treat you. But the effect of how they treat you lies with you. They can damage you if you allow them to do so. We have been damaged in the past. I sit here and I spoke about this whole work example, and I just realized that I just allowed myself. But it's a new me now. It's a new dispensation. Many are bracer crowdom. Because you see, in your next world, God expects you to do a better job. Because you look at you and say, this is my beloved son. This is my beloved daughter. So some of the Christian brothers, today too, I have said Christian brother, you have allowed some girls to have disrespected you. They have said things to you now. You are still thinking about that thing that girl said. Yeah. If not for love, can this girl talk to me this way? What nonsense. And for us too, we also have allowed people to treat us a certain way. See, you have meetings with people, they don't even give you, they will call you, we have meeting at 7, come. Hey, do you know what I am doing at 7? Because you have been coming. You have been coming, and they know that whether they like it or not, you have to appear.
Oh God.
Hey, but it hurts, and they want you to stop everything and come. And you don't have reasons. You can't give reasons. We are on our way. Meet us here. Hey, do you know where I am? Because you are not working, so everybody can call you at any time. Mercy. And you know, sometimes I think through it, I'm like, we have given, you see, in the service of God, in even giving of our gifts and talent, people disrespect us.
Yeah.
People disrespect us, and once you say that, yeah, this is work for God, it's kingdom business, I say, hey, kingdom business, so there are no ethics. Kingdom business, so there are no protocols to be observed. COVID-19 protocols in the kingdom business. Oh, don't make an unless can relate. People have called us all hours, just like God will call little was Samuel. Yes, Lord, I've come to do your will. And we are doing will and things, and even at the expense of family, friends, things. And if you say they say, if you take care of my business, I'll take care of your business. But you see, when Jesus even called the multitude, I mean, I'm sure he had ethicals around it. He didn't say just leave and things. He said, okay, if you are doing it, they will use quotation. If you are not BB, you can't carry my cross. Which cross are we carrying? Cross of disrespecting us just because we are on fire to do God's work. Hey, please, let's look at that thing again. Let's look at it. I mean, this is the best platform to discuss, because a lot of resentment, bitterness, anger, just like somebody will call you, they are not paying you. I'm not saying we want to be paid, but all we need is respect. We are not asking for salaries. We are not asking for tokens. It's not like the chicken and the chips we want. It's because we want to work for God. But in working for God, can somebody place respect on the people who work for God? Can somebody say that, okay, these are young men who are vibrant, who are on fire for the things of God, and can we respect them? Can we not just take people for a ride? I don't know if you have been disrespected in the Christian circle, but I have. And I know that you are listening, you have. Whether it is from choir master to choir mistress to priests to even our own colleagues in the sheepfold. Enough of that. If you go and say, they'll say, Wabasu, you have come on top. We started this thing, like, it's because now you know better. Just like those children will know that one CD can buy this and this and that, and 20 pesos cannot. People have treated us like 20 pesos when we know we are more than 20 pesos. Disrespect is disrespect. It doesn't matter whose side is coming from. Whether it's a priest, whether it's somebody boss, the person disrespects you, it hits your very core. The very existence of you, it hits you. Can you have an unbiased, I mean, we are saying this, but can we have an unbiased assessment of ourselves? Can we be brutally honest how we have allowed people to take us for a ride? And can we ask some people to check out? Enough of being treated as doormats. Enough of people treating us as less than of human beings when we are greater than. Enough of entertaining things that we know that just politely saying, I don't appreciate this tone of voice, settles it. It is not like when it heaps up and then you are angry and one day you just explode and but, oh, bro, Alex, is he like this? Because you could have said it in a better way and communicated your hurt, but you say you are not too sure how the person will feel, and so it's bottled up in emotions. And so one time when you just explode, everybody thinks you are the bad person, but you know what, you have taken enough than you can chew and you are tired. See, we have been tired of people's actions, disrespect from every form and every angle. Let some things check out. Check some people out. Because you see, whether we like it or not, we are responsible for our happiness. We are responsible for our happiness. Nobody's going to make you happy. You are supposed to make yourself happy. So if there are prevailing circumstances that is not making you happy, look at those circumstances and work on them. It's your happiness that matters. It is how you feel about yourself. You know, there are times you wake up, you feel, man. And there are times people make you feel like less of a human being. But they don't have such control anymore. Can we change the strategies? Politely, softly, taking note that you cannot treat me less than this because I know my value. Be encouraged this morning. Get over the past hurts. It hurts. It does. We have broken off relationship that ideally should not have been broken, but we just realized that we have just taken too much. If we had probably have had an honest conversation about it from the onset, probably we could have salvaged the situation. But trust me, it's not too late. Breathe in again. Acknowledge your value. Know that you deserve to be treated well. You don't have control of how people treat you, but you have the responsibility to let them know that you can't treat me anyhow. We'll be right back.
All right. So we're still here. Check out time. It's still Random Thought with Maxine, and I think we have some few comments that I want to read. All right, so I'm reading this from YouTube, the chat session. This is coming from Mr. Glenn Achema. He says, values and life lessons well articulated, the Zen.
Thank you, Mr. Ajima.
All right, and this one says, I'm worried now. all this while, I was being taken for a ride.
Oh, my full cry.
The second John catch it.
Yeah, less.
Oh, so it's about time you let people, let them know, man, it's time to go. But sometimes we realize some of these things too late.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, as I was talking to you now, I just realized that there's some instances that I now remember.
Yeah.
That didn't look like disrespect.
Yeah.
But now I'm just looking through all those circumstances. I'm like, no, that was disrespecting. Like you are serious talking about something
Yeah.
When you are angry, then somebody's laughing. Hey. It's like they are taking what you are saying like with a pinch of salt. I say, we can't be bothered. But this one too, are angry like that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it is something that is really dear to your heart, and that's how people make us feel. Imagine you are serious about an issue, and somebody is laughing and making you feel useless.
Yeah.
So I honestly thought through this. I'm like, sometimes it doesn't even come off as disrespect.
Yeah.
Because we have gotten used to it, and there are people who are also gotten used to it because Obian can't say that is disrespecting. You don't do that. You don't talk like that. And so one time when you say it to them, they're like, wow, this person has got. Because it's like Obiosro, and we've all allowed people to treat us a certain way, and it has become very normal. Very normal.
And I think now everything is becoming normal because those things that we used to see and no, this one is not good to do. Now everything.
But you see, the person who is disrespecting you, you cannot look into the person's eye and say you don't respect.
And they are the ones who also who are both to tell you that you don't.
But that's it. But we are able to tell our nieces and nephews, but we also disrespect other people.
Exactly.
By our age, by our position, by everything, and we can't tell them that you don't respect. But you can tell them that I feel very disrespected. People see your calls, I'm a culprit. Like people will call you over a period, you don't even return the calls. You don't know why they are calling you. I mean, you can be busy and all that. You see people's messages, you don't respond. Or no, they say what's here. I'm changing. Please change.
All right, so we're still here. Random Thought with Maxine. Check out time. I don't know what you want to change. I don't know what you're changing. But I think we all have a part to play in this. We do. Because it's hitting everyone so hard. I don't know where you are, especially for those in the kingdom business. You know.
Yeah, and this is a conversation we don't even want to, because nobody wants to see us the bad woman.
On your spiritual,
but on spiritual, on holy,
on backslide.
But you see, when we go a separate way, we form caucus and we discuss. What is wrong with that boy? What does he think?
Yeah, exactly.
He thinks what? He can call us anytime. But that boy has to be addressed.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to take responsibility. And we are all aggrieved. I tell you this. We are all aggrieved. We see the person, we don't even want to talk about it. And gradually, it's only one person who muster courage and leave there.
Yeah.
And leave the caucus.
Yeah.
Then one person to or somebody to do like a desikala, but you see, interestingly, if we can even be bold enough to tell the person that, Massa, we work with you.
Yeah.
We work together. It is for the good of the kingdom. We don't appreciate it when you call us at odd hours and you don't give us enough time to even sing, or we don't appreciate it when you talk like this.
Yeah.
Can you talk? End of discussion.
Yeah, I think some people do it not knowing what they are doing, but some people too, they really know.
But you see, once you are able to find that friend too who is not happy with what is happening, and you find that sister too who is not happy with that same circumstance, then that means there's an issue that has to be addressed. But unfortunately, nobody wants to look like the bad guy.
The black sheep.
That is it. So we go back, and that's what is sinful, because nobody wants to take responsibility. I remember there was this discussion about somebody who has issues and all that, and I'm like, I feel bad when we all have this discussion without the person, because the person is my friend. Can we set a meeting and talk to the person? They were like, go reluctant. So I just called the person up. I don't know how I did it, but you see, it's difficult getting to that person and saying that, Charlie, the way you are speaking to us, the way you speak to us, we don't like it. It's not as easy as we say it, especially when you know that the person is some way. But if you say it and the person is still not ready to mend their ways, then that's too bad. That's too bad.
All right, I think that there is another comment here on WhatsApp. So wherever you are, this is the Random Thought with Maxine. Today we're talking about something so critical, something so crucial. People taking people for granted, people not respecting us, and most times we also scared to tackle such issues. Okay, so there's this one here, great one. We need a session on how to tackle sensitive topics. I guess we know it, but how to let it out to the person in question is the point. I love today's topic. Thank you, Maxine. And this is coming from Mina.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the how.
Yeah, it's the how.
Who will lead the delegation?
Who does the cut? Who does the cut?
It's always the how. It's always the how. But you see, we know the effect and the damage that thing has caused us. We know it. You know you are hurt. You know you are bruised. You know you are carrying a lot of resentment. And you see that person, you are still working with them. And you know that honestly you would love to give off your very best, but because of Sedoni Kasan, we don't really vibe. But how no? Please, can we start being the most realistic and realist friends that we can? You know, there's this. Let's keep it real.
There's this experience I had on campus. Okay, campus, the renewal, ITI. And in the service team there, anything we discuss is supposed to stay within. But then there was one person among